Morning, everybody. Just got done doing an awesome meditation, and I just wanted to talk today about sorry, I'm setting my coffee down. The importance of forgiveness. How you feel, we know, affects how our body functions. And when you are feeling a certain way for a long period of time, then those patterns can become habitual. So I was watching Tony Robbins last night, and he says, people have a nice paved sidewalk to feeling bad, and they have a dirt road to happiness. Like, it's hard to get to happiness. He says it's in the way that they use their faces. It's easier to, I can think of some people's faces right now, and they just look like they don't just have RBF. It's just like, I can tell that the way that their mood predominantly has affected their physiology for such a long time that's what is reflected in their face, which is kind of scary. It's the new year, and I've just been seeing all this motivational stuff on Instagram, and it's just been really touching me in a way that it hasn't before. I saw this one thing, and it was like, every time I remove something that isn't _100 emoji, then something 100 score underline emoji comes in and replaces it. And I really thought about that, and I was like, wow, there's so many, I don't really have any traumatic experiences in my life. I haven't lost someone. I've had some bad breakups and some business things that have been really, really tough, but I wouldn't really classify them as traumatic. But at the same time, if I was to score those things, right? If I was to say oh, well, that experience was a 0 and it's a big weight and it's holding me back, and I lost someone, and I'm also placing a lot of weight on it in my mind, then I should definitely go back and spend some time and figure out how to reframe that, because that's really what forgiveness is. It's not just Xing things out of your life and disconnecting from them consciously, but going into how you feel and reframing it. Because a lot of times what you can do is, a lot of times these experiences set you up for massive growth. And so when you go in and you feel these experiences, and then you say, thank you for the opportunity to learn something from this, you create this space for yourself to see all the great things that came from it. So when you're first starting this, how I'd recommend, how I've been doing it the past few days, is I would meditate in the mornings. I just had a little 5-minute habit, 4 minutes sometimes, because I'm not that committed to meditation, honestly. But I feel to really get something out of it, you've kind of got to do a 20-minute session. And I'm just kind of impatient, because I just like to work on stuff and be busy all the time. So here's how I'd recommend you start. Get a notepad. And this is what mine looks like. I'm not going to be there for very long, but I wrote down all of the people and events that I need to forgive. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's kind of 13 or 14, 15, 16, 17. There's actually 16 actually, because I did do forgiveness on one of them. Of those events, and that's a very powerful piece of paper. I actually keep it face down. I keep it open, but I keep it face down on my desk here, because that a picture is literally worth 1,000 words. If you study religious symbols, those symbols stand for a lot of things. So when we write something down, it's extremely powerful, and you should keep that in mind based on the symbols that you wear. Whether it's a necklace or a shirt, or just writing on pieces of paper that are open into the space that you live in. That's just a little thing that I keep in mind. So, for example, and here's another example of it. In Feng Shui, the bathroom is considered a dirty place, so you're supposed to keep the toilet lid down and the door closed. So every night that I go to bed, I make sure that my bathroom door is closed. Does it really help or not? I don't know. Maybe it's a placebo thing, but I think when you stack all these placebo things, then you do get some benefit out of it, and that's a good thing. So looping back around to placebo, there's actually this guy named Dr. Andrew Weil, And he said that every single study that they do a double-blind, placebo-controlled test in, there's always one person who takes the placebo and gets as much benefit as the person who, as the people who got the real drug. And so he is interested in investigating the potential of, well, how can we leverage that placebo piece of it, which is really cool. So step one, get a notebook, a piece of paper, and write down all the things that you need to forgive. And the most important ones are going to be the ones where when you think of them, you can literally feel your heartbeat change when you see their picture, when you think of their name or you think of the event. When you feel your heart change, that is a huge sign that that's going to be a more priority one for you. So you can sit there and you could rank them in order. But here's step two. So step two is there's this great little app called Simple Habit, and it's got a whole bunch of meditations on there, and they're all in like series. And so it's like 7 meditations in like a track on like forgiveness or something, right? And you get to access like 2 or 3 of them. But there's also a bunch on Spotify, and there's a bunch on YouTube. The Honest Guys, literally that's their name, The Honest Guys, on Spotify and YouTube have a lot of great meditations. I like them. Or you can just search, forgiveness meditation, joy meditation, love meditation, whatever it is, in Spotify, and you can find so many great tracks. Just keep flipping through, because sometimes there's like water noise in the background, like I hate that, or like you just don't like the voice or something. But find one you like, and it might take a second, but when you find those ones you like, they work a little better. There's also another one that got mentioned to me recently, Sam Harris. I don't know, Google it. So step one, write down all the things. Step two, download the Simple Habit app and start with their forgiveness meditations. That's how I did it, because you can start with these nice 5-minute ones. And you start, one, you need to do this daily. And this guy from, the guy who runs Mind Valley, which is a big like health, personal development kind of thing, he said he does forgiveness daily, and actually in 40 years of Zen, that's a big piece of what they teach. You can pay $15,000 or you can get it for free here on this live. I'm telling you, forgiveness is a huge piece of it. I think it's 40,000 for 40 years of Zen. No, I think it's 15. That's like a biohacking conference where they hook you up to a bunch of cool neuro biofeedback stuff. So step two, get the app and do the short forgiveness meditations, and do it for the events in your life that are not the most heavy ones. You kind of want to like you're going into the valley. Like a big piece of forgiveness is feeling that stuff again. So it's like, say your mood is up here, like doing these meditations is going to bring you down here to do them. So you're going to come down and then you're going to come back up. And so if you try to come in and you're like, oh, I'm going to forgive like the hardest thing, and you're going to bring yourself all down here, and you just don't have a lot of experience with meditation or that release piece of it, then it can be harder to kind of get back up to a normal mood. I generally feel better. I feel a lot better after I do these things, actually. I literally feel lighter. I feel more power and potential, and it's so good. Like I feel like I could lift more weight right now than I did at the gym last night just because I went through this exercise. So step one, write everything down. Step two, get the app, do the light stuff first, and then as you forgive it and as you truly forgive it, because if you do go through a meditation and you see, their picture or their name or that memory comes up and it doesn't feel good in your heart still, then you should continue to do the forgiveness meditations on those people, events, topics. So, and step 3, and I think this is like the most important one, is after you create that space and release those memories, if you're, I will share that myself, I tended in the past to push those things away, because so much of life, like Tony Robbins says, like, how we go through our life, like we get to choose how we feel about something. I mean, that's logotherapy. That's Viktor Frankl, I think he wrote the book. What was the book? Man's Search for Meaning, right? So like when you realize and accept that how you feel you can take conscious control of by using motion or breathing, things that change your state, and you genuinely accept that, because we're taught our whole lives, I think, that, oh, when you feel bad, you have to feel bad for a certain period of time before you can release something. And because you've been raised that way and you've gone through life, like I'm 23, if I've gone through my life for 15 years conscious of that I have to feel a certain way before I can forgive, that's already a habit built into me, and I need to work on that habit that, hey, I don't have to feel a certain way for a certain period of time before I can forgive. So maybe you're mad at someone for like a week, and as you practice forgiveness, you can only be mad at them for 2 days or something. And that's a huge improvement, right? So as you truly forgive these things, cross them off your list, you'll feel so much better. Some other kind of strange, more woo practices can be writing things down on pieces of paper and then burning them. Also, yeah, I don't want to go too deep into that realm, but burning pieces of paper, like for a past project I worked on, what I did is I took all the paper and I burned it, and I released those memories. And yeah, so step 3, after you create the space for these things that you've released, reconciled, reframed, these memories, also make space to be feeling good. So like, there might be a period of 2 or 4 or longer weeks that you're doing a lot of forgiveness, and then from there, move into a space where you're doing meditations on joy and love and feeling those things and going through your day consciously. And I'd strongly recommend doing this at the beginning of your day and not getting up and saying, oh, well, I'll do it at like 6 p.m. or something. So last 2 notes on meditation. Don't do it right before you go to bed, because some styles of meditation can be energizing, but early evening before you eat is a great time. If you're crunched for time, don't stress about doing it after you eat or something, right? You'll get used to it. You'll figure it out. And the last little piece that can be a big enhancer for these things is, as the guided meditation teachers speak on the tracks, repeat back what they're saying. And it's kind of like an indoctrination for your head, and it works really well. So it's like I forgive you for whatever emotion that you had chosen that you felt most about that situation. So I forgive blank for this, and you say that out loud, softly, and with the proper intent. It can be really powerful. So I just had a powerful experience doing that. I feel lighter, stronger, happier, ready for my day. I'm going to do that same memory again probably tomorrow. And I just wanted to share the approach I'm getting some success with you guys. And I hope you have a good day. And life is awesome. It's all about how you think. And we'll talk soon.